Let's take a look at how to deal with many-to-many relationship. So far, we have seen one-to-many relationship. For example, if I go here, dim product and sales fact table have one-to-many. The one, see, just next to the table we can see one here. Just next to the table we can see star. Star is many. This is one-to-many relationship. Okay, and here also we have one-to-many relationship. Everywhere we can see one-to-many relationship. As you know, in this data model we can see only one-to-many relationship or exists between the dimension table and the fact table. There are situations you will land up something like many-to-many relationship. Okay. So the many-to-many relationship, okay, the many-to-many relationship cause some problem, okay. You cannot implement it directly, okay. Now you cannot implement it directly. So how do we deal with the many-to-many relationship? How we can implement the many-to-many relationship? For this, I will give you an example. Like we'll take this one. One second. If you look at this example, look here. Here you have the sales table and you have city table. Okay, city data and sales table, and okay, you have something called, look here. So on the right side, city data is a table name and sales is a table name. And let us look at this one here. Okay, I think I have this one in my data set here. Day name data model part 2, right? Okay, this is the one. Look here, you have something called the city data and sales column tables are there. These are the two tables are there. And your manager wants you to create a report something like this. Okay. But the challenge here is in this sales one table, I just go to this one and look here in the sales one table, you can see 5 columns are there. And here you have something called state column. Okay, state column have duplicate values here. And obviously these are the text data type, okay, city and type. And we don't see any unique column here. Like here in this table, dim product, what is the unique key here? Product ID. If you keep the cursor here on top of this line, you can see that on the left side, the dim product table, product ID got highlighted. The product ID in dim dimension, product dimension table, is a unique key. Similarly, if you hover the cursor here, dim location, the location key is the unique key. But in this table, we don't see any unique value. For example, if you look at the product table, especially in the product ID column, you should not have duplicate values of the product. Okay, but here we don't see any column right which has unique values in it. Take for example state column, it has a duplicate values. And if I take the city data, look here, if I select the city data, and even in this case the state column, I have duplicate values here. And if I go and get the holistic view here, and if you see here, what are the columns, what are the common column between these two tables? There's something called city and state, right? City and state. But if you see here city and state, look here in the city data and the sales one table, currently we are in city data and you have state and city is available, and similarly sales one also say state and city is available. But if you look at these two tables, if you look at the city column, you have unique values here. San Francisco, Los Angeles, Texas. Can you see any duplicate values here? Can someone respond? Los Angeles appears only one time. San Francisco appears only one time. We don't see any duplicate values. Okay, good. So we can see that in the sales one table, in the city column, plays a primary key column, okay, role. Okay, it has a unique values. And the city data, here also I can see the unique values in this, whereas the state, I cannot use the state column though the state column also available in both the table. See how the relationship get created, how the relationship get created between the tables. So watch carefully here, okay? See how the relationship got created by drawing the link between these two tables. So what is the underlying principle to create the relationship? To create a relationship between the tables, we need to use a common key. The dim location table, I have a column called location key, whereas in the sales fact table, I have the column called location key. Since we have the location key column available in these two tables, we are able to create the relationship. For example, in the sales fact table, if I don't have the location key, you cannot create a relationship between the tables. You can create, but it is not a valid relationship. So these two columns should be available in both the tables, but in this table, the location key should, for each location, the location key should appear only once. Remember this. But when it comes to this data model, if you take the state column, the state California repeats more than duplicate values are there. Whereas if you look at the sales table, in both the tables, the state column, the sales one and city data, the state column have a duplicate values in it. Hence, this table, you cannot use the state column from sales one to filter this table and vice versa. Okay. If you do it, you will not get the accurate results. For example, I'll just go to the report canvas and I'll show you with this example. In order to filter the data from one table to another table, one-to-many relationship is there. So in this case, since the state column in both the table, state column has a duplicate values. Hence, you cannot create a one-to-many relationship. Even if you try to create it, it will not give meaningful value. It will give some junk value. Look here, I just wanted to delete the relationship for the time being. If I create the relationship between state and state here, just because in both the table state column is there, if I create it, look here, automatically this one gets open. It gives us with some alert message. This limit is coordinated many to many. This should only be used if it is expected that neither column and a unique. Okay, fine. So what will happen is it will get created many to many relationship. Look here, star here, many to many relationship. But will that work? City data and sales table. Now we got rid of the many to many. For example, if I put state here and sales here, along with this, I need the population data here. Okay, it is 1 second. And California, the sales is 60, but again it is repeating it, right? 60 and population 0.90. Look here, we are very particular about the sales table. Okay, the sales one and sales. Let us look at the sales data set now. In California, we have two cities are there. Hence, it shows, right, two cities are there in California. 60-80 should be there. 60-80 is there. But for each 60, right? For example, right, here the 60, 1 second. See, in this case, the California has two cities in it. 60 and 80, only two records are there. In California, we have only two records. Whereas if you see, we have, 4 records got created, duplicates. It is not doing the filtering correctly because of the many-to-many relationship. Got it? Now I just go back here and I delete the relationship between these two tables. But the city table has one-to-many relationship. Let us see if we can create the relationship between these two tables with the city column. There is a one-to-one relationship. And if I go here and look here, now it is Is this correct or not? Look here, we can compare this one with our PowerPoint. In the PowerPoint, CA 64 and okay, there is some problem. CA 84 or 90, right? Okay, there is some better. We will look at here. And CA we have 60 and CA we have 80. Okay, and in the population city data, we will go and look at the city data. Here we can see the in CA4 and 0.9, right? CA4 and 0.9. Okay, CA4 and 0.9. Okay, that is fine. And Texas, it is doing good job now, right? So 1-to-1. If you use a city column, you can create a, by creating 1-to-many. Because in this case, the city column has unique values in it. In order to filter the data from one table to another table, you need to have a column wherein you should have unique values in it. Since the state column does not have the unique value in both the table, you're not able to do the filtering correctly. The another way is we just created the relationship directly because we have used the state city column because in both the table, city column has a unique value in it. So with this, we are able to filter it. But in this case, let's assume that even in this case, if we have duplicate values in city and duplicate values in here, there will be a problem here. So what we do is, in that case, we cannot use this approach. We need to create a separate table called your bridge table. Okay. So here, I just show you what data is in state table. Okay. Here we have only 3 columns, right? Let me just, okay, I just selected state table, okay, in custom city. Yeah, so here, if you see here, state and city is there, okay, and here I have created a column called custom column. Okay, in this case, what I did, I created a composite key. In California and Los Angeles, if you combine these two columns, in CA Los Angeles and CA San Francisco, if you take the this is called your composite key. This is very important concept. See, primary key is city. In this case, the city column have no duplicates. That is what called as a primary key. Okay, to create the relationship of one table to another, to one to many table, right? So you need to have the primary key or column. It should have a column. It should have unique values in it. Okay, and but in this case, if you look at these two columns individually, we have duplicate here, but we have the unique values are there. What if I have duplicate values here also, right? That's a different thing altogether. Okay, so in this case, what I do is the another approach is, instead of using the city column between the two tables to create a relationship, what I do is I want to create the composite key. More than one column, you can combine it, and with the combination of these two columns, it makes up a unique values. CA and Los Angeles, with the combination of these two, we can see only one instance. With the combination of CA and San Francisco, we can see only one record is there. We don't see one more CA San Francisco here. That is what I'm trying to say, right? So how do we tell Power BI that these two are the composite key? So for that one approach is I create a custom column wherein I mesh these two tables data and these two columns data into single column. CA and Los Angeles, I combine it, I put it in this column. Okay, and state and city, so the same thing. Okay, I did it, but the custom column, you look at the custom column. Now let us go to our model here. Look here, I have the custom column is holding the combination of state and city in it. So now what I do is here, Okay, in the city data also, right, we have a custom column. I have created the custom column in the city data also. We have custom column. Okay, with this, we can create, the one-to-many relation between these two tables. And similarly, I have state one, state city. This is a custom column here. Okay. Okay, for you people, right? So to eliminate confusion, I just say custom. So all the three tables, we have something called custom table. And here we have, the composite key we created. So now this one and this one. This one and this one, if I create the relationship. And if you go here, see here, it still works fine, right? Still it works fine. It is doing the filtering correctly. So this is the bridge table. I have used the bridge table. So now what I do is the another approach is the approach 3, or let's say the approach 2. I just join the city and city here. And then I just join the city and city here. In all these three tables, the city column has unique values. Okay. And if I wanted to, I just connected the city with city. If I connect, these two tables with city, I can get the state column, isn't it? And if I go and see it here, the output remains same here. So here I create a bridge table. The bridge table, I have used the city column as a unique key, and I just created the relationship between these two. Okay, that is how we can do. But the other approach is here you can have the state column. This is an assignment for you all. Okay, create a bridge table. Okay, like state table. In the state table, what you do is you just go to here and select the state table. Here, what you do is remove all the columns, keep only the state, but the state column should have only unique values: CA, TX, WA. Only 3 values should be there, no duplicates. And then and then what it is, do one to many. Okay, because here you have CA, California, Texas, and Washington, right? California, Texas, Washington. But for each state, you have more than one record is available here, and similarly more than one. So one to many, one to many. With that, you do the filtering, and see this is an assignment for you all. Okay, you got it. So in this case, we are using smartly the city column to do this. So now you might be asking this one: if I link city and city directly, it will work because the city column has no duplicate. Why the hell should I have this bridge table? You don't need it. Okay, but if you are going to use the state column to link the tables, right? A single state have more than one cells, and each state has more. Sorry, you can see the in single state have more than one city, and each city, each city appears more than one time here, right? So that is what that's why it's a many to many relationship. So in that kind of situation, if you use the state column to join these two tables, right, it will not you cannot do the filtering, because here the state column is not unique, here the state column is not unique. What is the rule to do the filtering? At least in any one of the table, for example, in this table the state column should have only the unique value. If you have the unique value in the state column, you can filter it. Since we have duplicate values for the state here and duplicate for the state here, you cannot do the filtering. That's where you need a bridge table. The bridge table, what you do is you can keep only one column state. Make sure that the state column you have only unique values there. CA only one time, WA only one time, and California, Washington, Texas, TX only one time should be there. one to many, one to many. So, and with that, you give it a try. So whether it is doing the, so hope you guys with this demonstration, you understood for this given data, how we can uh, create one to many relationship and why we need a bridge table. Okay. And instead of using the city, had I used state, what would have happened? It wouldn't do the filtering correctly, because even in this bridge table, we have the duplicate values for the state, right? But what is the requirement here? They need in each state and each city. Okay, what I do is I just bring in the city here. Only then we will get to know the correct thing. I just move this up. Look here, in each state and city, right? CA Los Angeles 60. We go and validate here. CA Los Angeles and CA Los Angeles 60. Correct. It is doing the perfect filtering. And also the population is available in another table, right? So it is doing the perfect job here. Okay, so you try the third approach. Okay, and what is the third approach? In the state table, you use the state column. Use the state column to link all the three. But in this table, the state column should have only the unique values. There is no duplicate for the state name. Full stop. Okay. And you one to many, you start with, and then you give it a try and see whether it is doing the filtering correctly. Because here, both the tables, see the up to this, look here, up to this city, sales, state coming from this table. The population coming from this table. Got it? This is a many side. This is the many side when you use the state column to combine, these two tables. Okay. You want to get the data from these two tables. You need to join. To join that, you need to create the relationship. In order to create the relationship, you need to have a common column. Yes, state and state is a common column. City is also common column. Okay. But if I try the state column, just because it is available in these two tables, if I create the relationship, what will happen is it will not do the filtering, because in both the table, the state column has duplicate values in it. So to overcome that, we can use a bridge table, right? So to do this, but with this approach also, it is doing the filtering correctly, because here I use the composite key, state and city. Here don't look only the state, take into account of these two columns values together, and then say CA and Los Angeles. Is it repeating? No, right? So that is one approach, by creating a custom column wherein you combine these two columns data and then you create the relationship. It is doing the filtering correctly. Okay, try the third approach, the bridge table, which should have only the unique values in the state column, and then let me know your output. Okay, observation. Hope you understood what is many to many relationship. It is not, you cannot implement it directly, right? So in that case, you need to have a bridge table. The classic example is state column. Okay, state column is available in both the tables, the city data and state one. But you cannot do filtering with this, because both the table state column have duplicate values. In this case, how do you handle this one? That's where we need to use the bridge table. The bridge table state column should have unique values. You try this approach. The other approach, what I used it, given this data set, I combine these two, columns as a composite key. Okay, in sense, I combine these two columns as a composite key, and you don't need a bridge table in that case. Here also you can create a custom column. Here also you create a custom column. Both the table, now the custom column have unique values. In this case, you don't need a bridge table. You can do it directly. Okay. But if I use a state column alone, obviously you need to have a bridge table that you try. Now the question is, you might be asking, sir, if I combine state and city here, combine state and city here, it forms a unique key. Then why should I have a bridge table? You don't need it. Okay. Supposing in a scenario wherein you don't have, the composite keys available, state and city. Only state is available in both the tables, city is not available. In that case, it will be challenging, right? So in that kind of situation, how do you deal with that? Is what your many-to-many situation actually. Okay, that's why you need to use the bridge table. You just try that out and let me know your observation. This is an assignment.